So now, let's do a thought experiment. Let's say I have a cylinder of radius r, and also I have a sheet of paper underneath it, such that it has some sort of glue on top of it. Okay? Now, let's say that this cylinder I can rotate about the center. What would happen if I rotate the cylinder by an angle theta? It would pull the sheet of paper like this, right? What would be the length of the sheet of paper that gets stuck on to the cylinder? It would be that distance, right? That length, which is nothing but r into theta. Okay? Now, let's take a slightly different case. So let's say I have the same cylinder, but instead of having a sheet of paper with some sort of glue on top of it, I have a sheet of paper that has some sort of friction between the paper and the cylinder. Right? That is, as this cylinder rotates, it sort of pulls the paper like this. Okay? Now, what would happen if I rotate the cylinder by an angle theta again? So, it would pull the sheet of paper in this direction. What would be the length of this sheet of paper over here that gets pulled? Again, just like the previous case, it should be equal to r into theta, right? Now let's come back to the first case. So let's say I rotate the cylinder by an angle 2 pi, basically one full rotation. What would be the length of the sheet of paper that gets stuck to the cylinder? It should be equal to the circumference of the base of the cylinder, right? Which is 2 pi r, okay? Similarly, in the second case, if I rotated the cylinder by an angle 2 pi, what would be the length of the sheet of paper that gets pulled in this direction? It should be 2 pi r again, okay? Now comes the beautiful part. Let's say that you're in a frame of reference that is at rest with respect to a point on the sheet of paper. What would you see then? So what would happen if I rotate the cylinder through an angle theta, but viewed it from this frame? Now, the cylinder, or the center of mass of the cylinder, will move toward the point, right? But through what distance? For that, let's go back to the cylinder frame. So we saw that when I rotated the cylinder through an angle theta, the sheet of paper got pulled, right, through a distance of r theta. So which means that this point on the sheet of paper would also have moved a distance of r theta in this direction. So that means if I come back to this frame, the frame which is at rest with respect to this point, the center of mass of the cylinder would move in this direction through a distance of r theta. But wait, viewing this from this frame is exactly equivalent to viewing a cylinder that's rolling on a flat surface, right? So let's say I had a cylinder that's rolling on a flat surface. Then, if I viewed it from a frame that's at rest with respect to the center of mass, and let's say it rotated through an angle theta in that frame, then the distance moved by the center of mass from the ground frame will be equal to r into theta. Now let's say that the distance moved by the cylinder from the ground frame is equal to xcm. Then we get xcm equals r into theta. Okay? But now, if I divide both sides by time taken, I get xcm by t equals r theta by t. Now what is xcm by t? It's nothing but the speed of the center of mass measured from the ground frame. Okay? And similarly, what is theta by t? Theta by t is the angular speed of rotation around the center of mass. Let's call it omega. So what I get is that vcm is equal to r omega. Finally, I understand why vcm equals r omega in the case of rolling.